And welcome back, Professor Almeida, gpalmeida.com. In this video, I want to talk about online classes, what they are, what they aren't, and hopefully by the end of this video, you can decide if it's right for you. Now, I'm going to share some of my wisdom as an online student myself. I spent 16 months in an online graduate program at Cal State Fullerton. I went on to earn my Master of Science in Education in Ed Tech, or Educational Technology. So I know that online learning works, but you have to have a different mindset. Now, I want to share a couple of resources with you. I have here an online readiness quiz. This is something provided by Distance Learning at Long Beach City College. As a matter of fact, we're going to go through this online readiness quiz together. So if you want to, you can find the link in the description below. You can then follow along as you have this video in the background. Or you can just watch this video and then access the questionnaire on your own time. And that's the beauty of online learning, right? You can access these materials at your own convenience. With an online class, 100% of all the course materials and instruction are delivered over the internet. That's an online class by definition. With an online class, you use what's called a learning management system, or an LMS. At Long Beach City College, we use what's called Canvas, and you can access it by going to the Long Beach City College website and choosing Student LMS. At other institutions, they might use Moodle or Blackboard or Google Classroom, but the idea is the same, right? You use a website to access all of the instruction for that class. Now, a class may be what's called asynchronous. That is, there are no scheduled class meetings and you access the materials at your own convenience. Now, it's important to note that what I say here isn't going to be 100% the case, so your mileage may vary. There's the disclaimer, because when I took my classes online at Cal State Fullerton, there were times where I had to meet at a scheduled time, especially when it came to group work. So you might have classes which are synchronous, where you have to meet at certain times. I also had this experience too with Cisco Learning Academy, where I had to participate on Saturday mornings and I had to meet at a certain time to sit through the lecture and to be able to participate in discussion. So again, it really depends. In the classes I teach, they are typically asynchronous. That is, you go in, you look at the materials, you study them, you do the assignments and turn them in. And usually in an asynchronous environment, your only requirement is to complete those assignments on time. Now, I want to get into this questionnaire here because there are a couple of things you need to consider in deciding whether an online class is right for you. And number one is self-motivation and mindset. The first thing you need to do is to ask yourself why you are taking an online class in the first place. Now, I've received questions in the past about my online classes, and hopefully this will be a way to answer them going forward. Many of my students come to my classes with different expectations, especially in an online environment. Some students really need to have that graduation requirement, and they somehow cannot fit it into their schedule. I've had working professionals who just need to get in, learn the skills, get certified, and go on their way. And I've had some people who just want to take an online class for the fun of it, or they just want to see what the experience is like. So many students come with different expectations, and you have to ask yourself why you want to be in an online class. So that's what question number one is right here. I am considering taking an online course because... And again, you have a couple of choices, and as I've described, one of them is that you need the class for a graduation requirement or job situation. So you need to be honest with yourself here. Questions 2 and 3 are very related to each other because it revolves around your personal style of learning and procrastination. A big difference between face-to-face and online is discipline, right? In a face-to-face situation, especially if you have me for a class on campus, Usually at the start of class, I'll be right there to remind you about something that's due. I'll be up there at the podium saying, hey, don't forget this Friday, you have these assignments due. Whereas in an online class, you have to go back and find the video where I talk about the week's assignments and locate the part where I say, oh, this assignment is due on Friday. Or you have to go search for the written announcement. And with all the stuff that's going on in your life, it's very easy to become distracted and forget that you had those assignments in the first place. I can tell you from experience, when I was taking my online classes at Cal State Fullerton, I was freeway flying at the time. That is, I was teaching at Long Beach City College and at Santa Monica College. I was spending quite a bit of time on freeways and on surface streets, navigating around the traffic. And I'm a family man, so there's that going on. And if you're a parent with a child in school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And with all the stuff that's going on in the house, it's very easy to lose focus. Whereas on campus, you're in the classroom, I'm right there in front of you telling you, hey, don't forget about this assignment. And in an online class, it's very easy to just forget about it and put it on the back burner. So you have to really stay on top of things. You have to make sure that you keep your assignments down on a calendar and always check that calendar. Now, if you're the type to procrastinate or to wait till the last minute, maybe an online class is not good for you, especially if it's a compressed class. That's like a double whammy there, because not only is the class moving faster, but again, given all of the distractions, if you're an online student, it's very easy to fall behind. And if you wait until the last minute, you're just not going to be able to catch up. So be honest with yourself in questions 2 and 3. Now, independent learning is another important factor. Again, here are the differences between an online class and a face-to-face class. If you're the type of person who really needs to be around people, then you want to be in a face-to-face environment, because there you have everyone around you. You can ask questions right away in class if you don't understand something. And especially in group discussions, you have your peers right there to be able to share ideas, swap notes, and whatnot. Whereas in an online class, it's just you and the materials, right? If you're interacting with me, especially right now, you're just watching me through this video. And if you need to reach out to someone, okay, I've been in online classes where there really is no one to talk to, right? Maybe it's self-paced instruction. There is no professor to reach out to, and you're pretty much on your own. Whereas in other classes, the students don't really participate. So if you have a question and you try to post to an online forum, good luck getting an answer. Or if you really need to ask the professor, you have to make sure that you can contact the professor and get a response at the appropriate time. Now, in my situation with my online classes, you have to understand that I get a lot of email. So let's say you don't know email etiquette, you forget to put down the class number and section that you're in, and then I have to go and look you up and try to figure out which class you're in, and then try to figure out your question and all that, and that's just going to delay things, right? So if you wait until the last minute, if you're the type of person who procrastinates and you wait until the last minute, you're probably not going to get an answer in time. So you see how all of this comes together here. Now, if you're the type of person who would rather sit in the back of the classroom and not really ask questions, or you're afraid of being judged, right? Or you're afraid of getting called on, and you know, you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, what are the people going to say about me? What's my professor going to think? What if it's a stupid question? If you're in an online environment, you might feel a little more comfortable. When it comes to group work, again, depends if you like being around people or if you're the type who would rather just go at it alone. If you're participating in discussion online, usually it's written, and maybe you might feel more comfortable typing out your thoughts. If you really think about it, you have more time to sit down and organize your thoughts. But on the flip side, that's a lot more writing, right? In an online class, you do have to think about that. There's more reading and writing because you have to figure out the instructions and then especially if you're participating in discussion, you have to be able to type out and adequately communicate your thoughts, right? So again, these are things you really need to think about. So that's questions 4, 5, and 6 here. Let's move on to computer literacy skills. Now, obviously, if you are in an online class, you really need to have some basic tech. Now, this might be an interesting conundrum considering some of the classes I teach. Take, for example, COSA 1, Computer Info Competency. It's an introductory computer class where you go in to learn some of the basic skills with computers and office programs. Now, this goes back to question number 1. Why are you taking the online class? Perhaps you're a working professional who needs this class for some kind of skill, or you need to put on your resume that you have basic digital literacy, or again, you really need that graduation requirement and you don't have the time, and this is the only way you can do it. So this is where COSA 1 online might work out for you. Or especially if it's a compressed situation, right? I'm teaching a compressed COSA 1 that only meets for 4 weeks. You might be the student who just wants to get in, get the skills, get the certification, and get out and go on your way. So again, it comes back to why you are taking the class. So you can see again how this is all tying in together. Now, time management, as we said before, you really have to budget your time, especially with all of the other distractions that are going on. So this is the online readiness questionnaire. Again, be honest with yourself, and hopefully the questionnaire will help you to decide if online learning is right for you. So if you go to Long Beach City College, you can find this site right here, Online Student Readiness. There's a bunch of links you can follow, a lot of great resources. And I want to share one more resource with you, and this is provided by the California Community College system, and it looks like this, right? So you can get to it directly from here. So if you're at Long Beach City College, here's some great resources, and again, here are those modules. So you can get to it here. And there are a couple of things that you can watch. For example, Introduction to Online Learning, some common myths, and they have it in different forms. So if you don't want to watch the video, you can go through text. So here's a couple of common myths about online classes being easier, that you could just do it self-paced, that it's cheaper, that you don't have to participate, that you don't need tech skills, and then communication and other excuses. So this is some good stuff right here. So hopefully this helps you out to decide if online learning is right for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you value this video, feel free to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content. Anyway, that's all I have. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.